This fucking engine can't handle multiple sound effects happening at once.
This is a much better update in line with what this game was, and I think what a lot of people fell in love with in the first place of the game, than what they diverted away to with Warzone 2.
And with this update, this is without a doubt one of the best updates that they've ever done to Warzone, period.
It's a surprise that it's working, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, that's something to get excited about, that it's a surprise that everything is going smoothly in a AAA title. But we'll stay positive, man. It is very much just like how I remembered Verdansk. Kind of weird. Like, it's kind of got the same vibe as it did before. How was movement, better audio? So at the beginning of today's stream, I said that this audio for this game is way better. But then that quickly deteriorated once we joined up with Bobby and rallied. In the sense of just this fucking engine can't handle multiple, or it doesn't know how to prioritize, or it just can't handle multiple sound effects happening at once on one player's screen. Positives: the game feels good, performance-wise. No glitching, no like, what the hell? Hit reg is interesting. I kind of like it so far. Like, it feels clean. The TTK is noticeably faster, which is nice. It's actually nice for mouse and keyboard. It actually is. How long will this last? Well, instead of like thinking about like how long will this last, why don't we just think of it's here now, let's enjoy it. And then in 3 days when this thing's dead, then we can start having that discussion. If all of a sudden there's dev support and post-launch support and content support at a higher level than what we've seen the past year or two for Warzone, I mean, then shit, we're going down the right path.
But honestly, I'm really just more concerned for what's going to happen at the end of this year. When the next Call of Duty comes out, they add inevitably wall running, jetpacks. We merge it all back together. It's all going to go, it's all blowing up again if they don't separate Warzone out now for the future and build this into its own thing without constantly trying to have to slam this content. And I hope they don't remove it again, or even reset all our cosmetics again. Reset all the weapons again. I feel like that is just around the corner. And to be clear, I think a lot, in fact, I think the majority of people out there are still going to have a very negative opinion of Warzone and Call of Duty and this game, even with Verdansk coming out. And as much as I've enjoyed it, and I'm sure a lot of other people have, because of them taking away all the cosmetics, how long it takes to grind and level up weapons, the fact there is no toggle for a milsim option for the game, which I saw a lot of people talking about they thought was going to be coming out with the Verdansk release. There's no way they're ever going to do that, everybody. They make all their money from selling the skins and forcing that down your throat. This is a much better update in line with what this game was, and I think what a lot of people fell in love with in the first place of the game, than what they diverted away to with Warzone 2, for example. There have been quality of life improvements that they've put in that they have kept, and in this case, adding even more. The instantaneous buyback of teammates came in incredibly clutch today even. The fact you can just hit the buy station, hit R, and it'll instantaneously buy back all of your teammates, and the floating loot makes it so much easier to see it. It's highlighted properly, like, awesome. They also did revert some quality of life changes, like the precision airstrikes showing up on the TAC map, showing exactly where it's going to land, is now gone. But I think this is actually to a benefit of the casual player, which they've done multiple changes of. Removing redeploy drones, so you can't just pop an advanced UAV, redeploy, and just land on another team and immediately smack them. You have to plan ahead, make proper rotations. There's so many less plates in the game. Way less economy. You have to get multiple contracts done. Use the bonus of doing multiple contracts to give you extra cash to really snowball the game, which was a lot of fun to do. The whole experience feels so much more like a proper battle royale. The final couple zones, most of them that we had today, there was no buy stations at the end. So most of the final fights were 2v2v1, or, you know, it wasn't all full stack, full squads, all rezzing. Everybody's just popping rezzes, PDS systems in the gas. It's just battling gun on gun, maybe some vehicles, kill streaks, but you're getting into end game fights again. Even making it to a top 20 situation felt so much more difficult today. A lot of people were saying, oh, it doesn't feel the same as what it did. And I don't think it ever can, because it also doesn't have the movement. It doesn't have the same systems that were back in the original Warzone. But I think it still fits into this game. Most of these guns are still essentially the same thing. And the servers, we had a very solid first 5-6 hours while probably most people were still at work. That evening, everything started to go downhill. We had disconnect, reconnect features not working. Honestly, I expected this right out of the gate. I was surprised we had so many hours of clean gameplay before this all broke. And are we going to see a standalone Warzone, which I still think is a much more ideal move? Let us have multiple maps while keeping these other ones. Sure, still integrate stuff from other Call of Duties and take the inspiration, whatever that you do, but we could build off of something. Realistically, I would say don't expect that.
First and foremost, I gotta say this. I've been saying this all day on stream. You know that I do not stray away from shit-talking this game. We've done it many times throughout the years. Whenever they're not doing things correctly and they're going in a completely different direction than Warzone ever should go, I'm always gonna speak my mind, and I've always spoke my mind on those things. But I can't just always shit talk just to shit talk. When they actually do things correctly and they're going in the right trajectory, in the right direction, I have to admit it. I have to say that. And with this update, this is without a doubt one of the best updates that they've ever done to Warzone, period. Not only are we going back to Verdansk, we have, it's not just an exact same feel of the game, but it is very similar. Obviously, we have Omni movement. It's not the old school movement, but if you guys have noticed these last patch notes, they've slowed the game down to a large degree. They've slowed it down a significant amount by doing things such as making plates a little more scarce, cash is a little more scarce. The actual movement of the game is slowed down a little bit as well. And then on top of that, no balloons. The amount of like ways to rotate around the map has slowed down significantly, but they've replaced that, balloons, etc., by going back to the old style of vehicles. The vehicles feel great right now. The helicopter feels fantastic. All of the changes from this new patch, you can genuinely feel the difference. You really, really can feel the difference. And obviously, going back to Verdansk is just a treat because obviously it's very nostalgic. They've done other things to slow the pace down too. The redeploy flares, the gulag tokens, the redeploy buy station, deployable buy stations, all of these things have been taken out of the game. The only way you have to get back in is by your teammates buying you back, winning your gulag, and that's it. Those are the only two ways you can get back into the game. Once you lose your gulag, you can only get bought back. It's $4,000 now, and money's a lot more scarce. So if I'm being honest with you, they're doing a lot of the things that I've been saying they need to do for a while. Something that I noticed that the BR experience did as a whole for a very long time is they started going in this direction of like being basically a glorified resurgence game mode, if you guys get what I'm trying to say. Buybacks were 3K. Gulag tokens came out of just about every chest. Jailbreaks happened almost every game. Flares were all over the map. Redeploy buy stations were all over the map. There was infinite ways to get back into the game. And now that they're pulling that back again and making the life more valuable, the BR experience is actually feeling like a BR experience. And I'm having a blast. I really, really, really am praying that they continue to go in this direction. Please do not try to reinvent the wheel by doing Warzone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please just keep it where it is right now and slowly but surely nurture it into a beautiful flower, blooms. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just don't try to reinvent the wheel. I think where they have it right now is in a great spot, but as long as they continue to implement new content, new weapons, new POI changes, etc., and new game modes, I just think we're in for a treat, man. I guarantee you they were putting all their eggs in the Verdansk basket. That's guaranteed what they were doing. They were like, okay, Verdansk is going to be out in a few months. Who gives a shit if the game is complete dog shit right now? We are going to win everybody's hearts back with the release of Verdansk. Obviously, it's unfortunate that we had to deal with that stuff for a little while, but I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, man, I have to give them their flowers when it's actually due, and they f***ing killed it with this Verdansk drop.
60% of all of the reports were players reporting cheats on console players. Turns out it's just aim assist, guys. What they're trying to tell you is that it's a skill issue. You suck.